Hello, Trash It is back with another exciting episode with the usual crew. I've got Ajike, Jude, Celia, and Funshaw. Now, social media seems to be like the court of opinion where people are allowed to say what's on their mind and not to be left out. There's this unknown Nigerian actor. I don't know him, but apparently he's well known. Celia will tell me. His name is Sam Unabuke. Am I pronouncing it well?
Something like that, yeah.
Okay. Sam Unabuke knocks women who allow house helps make the food that their family eats. Now, let me read in part what he said. And I don't understand the idea behind wives allowing house help to make the food the whole family would eat without the madam of the house physical supervision. It goes a step further by asking if women are raving mad or what. So let's start with Ajike and Celia. On the scale of 1 to 10, is this guy spewing sense or nonsense? And are women really moving mad using this man's words? Ajike?
Well,
I see shock you.
Everybody has an opinion on social media. You have to have something. But for me, I think it's just the way he relayed it that is bad. I think he was just being rude and just being stupid. I was just looking for attention, really. Because this matter has been a debate for many years. Personally, for me, I don't even have a maid. I've not had one since maybe the one I had when I gave birth to my son. I've had a couple, I think after like 6 months after she left, I tried a couple and I didn't like them and I've taken over my home. But I can do that because I can. But even at that, I understand what he's trying to say, but people are working, people are hustling for money. So if we can get a reliable maid, really, there's no big deal. There's no big deal. It's not a big deal. Even me, that I'm so-called, I'm not really that busy, if you want to put it in sense of the word. I don't cook. I don't. There's somebody, in fact, I think I mentioned it to Celia yesterday, what we're talking about yesterday. I will go buy what I need to buy. Somebody will come cook bulk. I pack it. Lagos is too stressful. I will drive, you are in traffic, you come home. It's the same traffic your husband is in that you are in. It's the same stress. Maybe his own stress is a bit more mental, but for women, it's a bit more physical. Then add to a working woman mental stress. You go to work, you do all the work, you come home, you still have to put food on the table, think about what they are going to eat for the rest of your married life. It's not easy. So I don't know what he's trying. I understand where he's coming from because there's some evil maids and all of that. But if whatever is your own, how will you, your life is you that will do your life. Nobody can come and tell me how to run my life. That's where I sit.
Okay. Celia, are women roaming mad or raving mad? Or does this guy, like Ajike said, she doesn't cook? What's the big deal? At the same time, he seems to have a point. So on the scale of 1 to 10, how much of a sense is Sam Unabuke making?
I think I agree with what Ajike said. There's a message in there, but it's the way he went by it. That was where he lost me. When the last statement where he said, "Are women raving mad?" That comment alone kind of put the onus of cooking on the woman and the woman alone, and that's not right. The cooking, you see, when people start to see marriage or relationship as an equal partnership, yeah. And by equal, I don't want to use that word loosely because as women, when we come into a union, we know what we're really coming into, right? Until we start to look at it as an equal union, we would always think that there is a particular role for a woman and there's a particular role for a man. I think traditionally you would think that, but times are evolving, right? And I don't think there's any gender specific roles in marriages anymore. Your husband can cook, he can do the laundry, he can get the kids ready and things like that. So no, I don't think the woman should be the only person cooking. But when it comes to your maid's cooking, I don't like anybody cooking my food, right? I like to cook my food myself. And I don't know why. Even when my sisters were living with me, she would cook and I wouldn't really eat. It's not because she was not clean or anything like that. I just enjoy eating what I cook.
It's
And
the personal
when,
opinion.
yeah, and so when she realized that, even when my husband boils rice, it's only recently I started eating rice and my husband will boil, right?
And I'm
So
the
when
opposite.
she will cook and I don't eat, she realized it and she said, Celia, I know you are not eating that food because I cook. Don't worry, I will prep everything down for you. When you come back from work, you come and do the cooking yourself, right? So they know, that. So would I ever let a maid cook my food? No, I wouldn't. And that's only because
Who
I
you are.
like cooking my food. The reason why a lot of my friends, I don't really go to their houses. It's not because they don't even invite me to come anyway. And it doesn't bother me because, as I said, I don't like eating in people's houses per se. So it's not an issue for me, right? But the thing is, when people start trying to put gender roles and saying the women are raving mad because they're not cooking, then it doesn't make sense. That's where he's lost it for me. I don't necessarily think maids should be cooking without supervision, because these days a lot of things are happening. We see on Instagram, on Facebook, where maids are putting poison. So we need to be very
We'll
careful
come to
who we
that.
trust with our
We'll
food.
Yeah, we'll come to that. Before I go to you men, let me just hone in on Ajike and Celia, and obviously because you're the women here. Using our parents' marriages, our mothers had jobs and still managed to make meals for their family. So what is different with ladies of nowadays? Is it that we're so, and I'm a woman, I sit on this table as well. It's not as if I cook every 24 every second. I don't. That's just a gospel truth. So what is it that we're not kind of, with the lack of better word, be as our mothers are? Because I think there's an expectation that we're supposed to hold a job, manage to hold the home, and being that cook, that Maggie cube cook, you need to still do that. What's different? That why is this even a conversation?
Right. I think the thing is, that's why I said earlier, people overdo things. People just, when you don't have to cook every day. As a married person or as someone in a relationship, if you're cohabiting with your partner, you do not have to cook every day. The days that you can't cook, you can go and eat out or you can order in. I like to cook, but in as much as I like to cook, I enjoy eating out as well. So sometimes for like a week, I might eat out 4 times a day and only cook 3 times a day. 3 times in that week, right? And by cooking, I mean maybe boiling rice or making pounded yam or whatever it is, or whatever else we're eating. So we need to understand that cooking, right, brings it, there's some, the thing is, women, let me just put it this way, women these days, they see people that cook as people that are suffering. They see other women that cook as women that are suffering, or as women that haven't arrived yet, or as women that cannot afford to pay for someone to cook for them. Because I've been in a friend's house before where they've said to me, oh, I'm going to just bring out one bowl of stew or whatever from the freezer, say you're coming, and then we'll just heat it up. And I'm thinking, and I know she didn't cook that stew or whatever it was she was going to bring out. And I'm not eating it. I'm sorry. Because number one, you haven't cooked it. Somebody else has cooked it. So now at least I know how clean your home is, right? And then you're not saying to me, I'm not the one that made it. Somebody, and I don't know how clean that person's home is. So no, I'm not eating it. And some of my friends that I do go to their houses, they know I'm coming. When I get there, Celia, I know you like eating your food. Oh yeah, come to the kitchen. Let's go and cook together. So that's what we do. But no, I just think sometimes we should also make out time to cook our own food, put it in the freezer and just heat it up. And then I suppose on those times where we can't, then I don't know, but I don't believe in people cooking my food, especially when it's being cooked in their house and they're bringing it to my house. No, I don't subscribe to that.
Okay, Ajike, let me come to you. Same question. What is the difference? Why are we so?
The difference is life. Life is different now. It's not like that those days. Most parents, okay, let's even put it, most mothers were like teachers. I can remember when I went to secondary school and my friend told me her mother was working in the bank. I looked at her like when I had to get, because she was the first person I was seeing that and her mom was not just a banker, her mother was a bank manager. Her mom rose through the ranks. I think her mom was like GM in FSB those days. Most of our mothers were traders, teachers. They would be home on time. The traffic in Lagos was not like that many cars were there in Nigeria. So you can easily come and cook. In fact, most of the children, they and their mothers will go out together and come back together. Those were the days. So times are different. Things are different. Many jobs are so demanding now. The mothers, women are working as hard as men. And everybody is just different. It's not like me now. Like Celia was saying, me, the person that my mom is a caterer. So we have caterers, we have people that come and cook, all those women there. So when they are coming, I just say, yeah, bitch, go happy. So I'll just go to the market. If I'll just add money, that thing they want to go and buy, that party they have, add money, buy my own, cook it, give it to me. Me, I don't have a problem with that. If you cook in your house and you have food for me to eat, I will eat it. I'm not really particular about, except the food is not sweet, I will leave your food. When the food is sweet, why not? I will go with bowls. My friends, I can't come to your house and leave me and not carry food. It's not possible. So I will not get home. I will not drive home and start school again. Ojo, is that food I carry from your house? I will not eat in my house again. That's the way I am. But people are different. Celia is different. Celia said her own. So I know that day I'm going to Celia. Celia is going to my house. I'll just prep everything. Celia, please cook. And I'll be happy. Because for me, when I was saying I'm different, someone like me, I prefer when I cook my own food, I can't eat it. Why? All the smell, everything has entered my nose. So I don't want to eat again. I'm not interested in eating what I put. But when I smell another person's food, oh my God, and I know that food is coming to me, I would have been prepping my stomach, everything, you know. I won't eat too much so that I can accommodate as much into my stomach. So, you know, we are all different, but I still be like everybody has said, all these maids and everything just need to be very, very, very careful. But if you cannot do it, you cannot come and kill yourself. We move on.
All right, let me shift era and just go to the men for a bit. In the era of things evolving, why has the role of the woman not changed? I mean, like Celia and Ajike said, it seems, especially men in Nigeria, and I'm not trying to be stereotypical, but this actor represents a kind of fair percentage of men that think this way, can't accept the reality of the 21st century. I'm going to start with you, Jude, because you happen to be an advocate for women's rights, like the old patriarchy thing doesn't sit well with you. But why is it that per education, per exposure, we're kind of one of the well-traveled, most educated people in the world, but this same issue of a woman's role is in the kitchen, they have to bow to cooking, physical presence is required. Why is it that you men, without the lack of a better word, can't just move past it?
I think first, just to address that quickly, it's about power, it's about dominating, it's about that structure. You know, I'm the boss. There can't be two captains here, whether equal partnership or not. There can be two captains, you know. I guess that's what it is for most people. You see, Celia and Ajike have spoken beautifully about what first their points were similar and there became a divergence because Celia almost similar to me. If I see the state of your kitchen, boy, I ain't drinking water from your house. I am so finicky. That's why I don't do sleepover in people's homes, because my toilet is my kingdom. I want to sit in my toilet and relax. I can't do it in your house. So if you invite me to come sleep over, I won't. I'll pay for a hotel. I know I'm paying for it. I'd rather pay for the food. So there became a divergence between Celia's and Ajike's view. Ajike, I'm fine with Ajike too. If Ajike came to my house and I cook and she want to take food, I am that kind of person because I believe food gets me into the soul and tradition of people. I eat everything. There's nothing I've not eaten. No person food I can't eat. I've eaten Gambians home, Sierra Leoneans, Indian, Pakistan, everywhere. They're giving me food takeaway and I'll come home and I'll eat it. So having said that, though, that man, whatever his name is, Sam Nabrike or something, what he said might just, he might think it was a simple statement he put out there, but he was asking existential questions about power, questions about wealth, questions about choice, questions about gender roles, like Celia rightly pointed out. He might not be advocating for women to be in the kitchen. He might just have put it out there for people to discuss. And I'm glad that he put it out there. With regards to food, Celia and Ajike touched on it again. We know where we come from, Africa or Nigeria to be specific. It's a very wicked place. Family members can poison the whole family of 50. My neighbors, they were like doing a family meeting and there were like more than 40 in that home. One of the wives of the sons poisoned the whole food they were going to eat. And just for somebody quick thinking, and so I was here checking this pot of jollof rice or white rice then, and it wasn't like this. It seems somebody's touched it. It's changed the color a bit. And they tried it with their dogs and their dogs died. This happened very, very close to me, so I know what I'm talking about. So you can understand again why he must have written, at least supervise your your
Mate.
maid. Again, Celia Ajike touched on it. Is wealth. Women today, some of them have very busy lifestyle. You can't compare it to our mothers. Very, very hectic lifestyle. And I'm glad that Ajike said how many cars were in Nigeria and then the traffic these days, man. Come on. The woman is busy, the man is busy. So they want to come home, take off their shoes, have a quick shower, and have food ready for them. There's no big deal about it if a maid prepared that food, or if it was their sister or brother, family member from outside who prepared that food for them because they have a busy lifestyle. Or if one of them cooked the food for the whole week to spread. It's a busy lifestyle. You can no longer say, oh, after the woman's come from work, she should go in the kitchen. You know, it's wealth, it's power. Some men are still stuck in that age, like the question Yuri rightly asked. I know a friend, whenever I'm in a conversation with her, she said, what are you doing? I'm in the kitchen washing dishes. Yesterday, I was in the supermarket when she called and she said, are you washing plates again? I said, no, I'm in the supermarket. Because she knows I'm always there. And she said, if my husband hates you, because it causes you all the time and saying, what kind of a stupid, useless man is that? Always washing plate. Why would they wash plate? So this is somebody who's waiting for the woman to serve, bring the bowl, wash my hands, cross leg. This is London. This is not Africa. And this is a Nigerian man. So it is typical. It's not really stereotypical to say Nigerian men, majority of them do that. I've heard a lot. And when they come to my house, they're like, you the trial, you know, so every existential questions that young man has asked in his statement. For me, I enjoy cooking. I have 3 children. These 3 children, they all eat three different things at different times. So I'll be in the kitchen on a Saturday morning, cooking 3 different meals. I won't leave that kitchen till like in the evening, trying to make sure they all eat different things they wanted to eat. So I'm cool with that. Again, I'm married to a woman who's not from my part of the world. If I was so into my African food, it would be expected of me to then pay somebody outside to cook those food. So if that means me getting somebody to come into my house and cook the food, great. I'm very finicky. I don't really like people cooking from outside for me, but I do it. So if my wife was saying, okay, I can't really make Jules pounded yam or ogbono or egusi, and he really likes it, for him to start stepping out to go eat in somebody else's house, I'll get a maid to cook those food because my guy like them. Then I'm cool with that. You have to know the reasons behind it. So women are not raving mad or roving mad as his last statement. But again, I think he's asking questions. But to be fair and honest, GK used that language. We've evolved. Times have changed. These are no longer the times of the hunter-gatherers where the men will go out and hunt and the women will gather sticks and cook. It's no longer that communal Ubuntu type of thing. Women actually are trending.
Some people will say if the man wants to eat fresh food every day, he should go and bring fresh meat every day. Because there are some men that say that too. They'll say my food must be fresh every day. Every day.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're right. You are right. See, I pointed out something about fast. We're in a fast-moving world. A very, very fast. Nobody is patient anymore. I order a pizza. 10 minutes later, I'm calling Papa John's, but where's my pizza? No patience any longer. I don't think any man these days will even want to wait for the wife to be cooking in the kitchen. They'll be like, oh my God, you know what? I should have just ordered a curry. Nobody wants stress for anybody anymore. That's my opinion. Well, I don't think Abiola would have wanted his wife to be cooking for him. At that time, Kudura to be in the kitchen cooking all day when he had the wealth to employ people to cook on a daily basis. Also, the sizes of the family. Okay, for the children, I would love for my children to eat my wife's food. Me, no big deal about that. I don't eat my own mama's food. I would love for them to know how their mom's food tastes. Great. I could say to my wife, I beg, not just a bring maid into the house to cook for everybody. Try cook for your own children, make a taste your food, maybe on a Saturday, but not for the whole house. It depends on, if I have 5 children, I don't expect my wife to be cooking for everybody on a daily when she's just come back from work. It's too tiring. So yeah, I'm glad that he asked those questions, and it's left for us to then put meanings to them. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Jude. Funsho, I can see you smiling because I know there's packaging coming out of your mouth. As a typical Yoruba man, there's an expectation that your wives, with the lack of better word.
How many is he married to? Yoruba wives.
As in Yoruba.
Don't give Funsho hand though. Funsho will go and marry the second one.
Funsho is only married to one wife.
Okay.
Using the Yorubas, there's an expectation that Yakudi should be in the kitchen, kind of supervising things. So why is it that we can't move past that? Same question I asked Jude. In most cases, when our men come to the to the United States, to UK, to blah, 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 the narrative seems to change. In Nigeria, even if they travel and come back, there's still that expectation that the woman must die in the kitchen. Why is it that it's true? Why is it that hasn't changed? Like we've all been honing on something, evolving, but that seems not to have evolved.
Okay, so everyone has spoken, and I quite agree with everybody. Yeah, our different views on this topic. Firstly, I initially when I saw that post, I agree with the guy 100%. But later I now read it again and I saw the last part of it where he said women are really mad, and I was like, okay, this is what I disagree. And just like everyone has said, the society has evolved that there are no gender roles again. Because even when it comes to sex, it's not the guy that stays on top again. The woman can stay
Oh
on
my
top.
God! They don't just say you come with a package.
I said it.
Oh my days.
I'm just trying to broaden our minds.
Yeah, very good.
See
It's brought it all
that
right.
in
Broadband.
every
Virgin
facet
media.
in every facet of the society right now, in every facet of the society right now, society has evolved. Whatever a man can do, a woman, you also find a woman doing it. Yeah. But having said that, some parts of what he said, I kind of agree, not because he's saying it as a bossy man or something, but like Ajike said, it has to do with our upbringing. Celia said she won't eat in anybody's house. Ajike said she will eat in anybody's house.
Mm-hmm.
My case, except my wife cooks it, I won't eat it.
That's all.
Does that mean you don't eat out?
So
we go to dinner
over the years, I have tried. So the way I was brought up, over the years I have tried. The way I was brought up, I won't eat anywhere else except my mom's food. So as I grew up, I tried because and there's a reason behind it. My mom lost the first child due to food poisoning.
Exactly.
So she trained us strictly. If you take even mineral that they open in front of you, you are dead. So
she will kill you before you die.
You are dead, then you will now kill you on top of it. So so all those festivals that we used to have in Nigeria, the brick wood, I will welcome, hey, thank you. As they are going like this, you call all of us conference. No, we're not. If you tell someone should go and you might pick the meat as it's going to so all of us will gather. We'll now start spitting inside that food. all of us. Me and my siblings. We will spit there. They will now give it to one person and throw it away. Now, if you are not to eat our spit, let's see it.
Wow. Very savage.
It was a very strict training. Very strict. And I couldn't deviate from it. My sisters, being ladies, they're able to cook. And I'm the only son. Let me say it today. I've said this everybody that my mom didn't really do well in some aspect, but yeah, that's the way she thought. I'm the only son. I didn't wash my clothes. I didn't take my bath. I didn't cook. I didn't clean the house. Nothing. Everything was done for me. My dad had growing up, my dad had like 15 apprentices under him. Wow. My mom had close to 30. So there was enough people around the house to do everything. I didn't do anything. So as I grew up and I had to go to boarding school, there was a problem. Because I couldn't eat. So the same mom had to start telling me, that's a public food. You can eat that one.
Eat that,
Getting you.
Public food.
But with this individual food, then that's the problem.
But smart
school and like that, that nobody started. You have to eat that one. And I started changing a bit. It was still hard. Till date. Okay, when I went to visit my in-laws,
I was gonna ask.
Introduction and everything. I didn't eat. But before I went there, my wife had already told them that don't give him food, he won't eat. If you force him, you're just looking for trouble. He won't eat, just don't give him. You can buy mineral and he will try, he will drink that one, but don't give him food. So they tried,
Understandable.
and I still, even on my wedding, I didn't eat the food.
I know.
Just let you know. So, so when he was saying it, that was what I was connecting to. That nobody will cook my food. When I was going to give birth to my first child, my mother-in-law came from Nigeria, and she was trying to help because my wife was in the hospital. And she found out that the first day she cooked, I didn't touch it. I have my own beans in the fridge. I went to warm that and I ate that. The second day, the same thing. The third day, she told me that, this is your husband. Yeah. The third day, she just called my wife. I thought, this is your husband. Yeah, I won't cook for him again. You know. So even with my wife, when I met her, I couldn't eat the food until we went to the kitchen, cooked together like 1, 2, 3 times. Then I started trusting, and that was when I started leaving her to cook. Another thing, she's very good. She get with, and I think I mentioned it here before that if she's at home, I won't go to the kitchen. We'll go together because she's better at it. Yeah. So that is my own point of saying, in a way, I agree with the guy because no one else will cook my food except my wife. If she's not home, I cook myself also. So I always have reserve in the fridge in case she's not home or she cannot cook. I don't stress her. It's not compulsory. She has to cook every day. I go to the fridge. In my house, our own staple food is beans. In some houses, it's rice. I don't like rice. I like beans. You always find beans and plantain in the fridge every time of the day. So I always have backup plan for myself. Now, having said that, we talked about domination. Okay, we talked about society as changed. I think one of the major things that's happened is there has been more equality, like I mentioned before. So in the past, it's not as if the women were not hardworking. It's not as if it wasn't demanding. It's because I know, I'm not talking about our forefathers and hunter-gatherers and all those things. No, we're talking about maybe our immediate parents or not too much second generation before us. Those ones were hardworking too. We had some that had to go to the farm, had to fend for the kid, had to take care of the house, and at the same time cook. Yeah. But these things gradually started changing because the society opened up more and we had more people fighting for women's rights. Yeah. And that is why most nowadays ladies don't want to cook or they get people to cook for them. So it's not as if anything really changed. It's not as if the work now is harder than what it was before. No. But
it is harder. Show me.
I don't think so.
Because no. Go back to that second generation you are talking about. That second generation you are talking about, let me tell you. They had mates. Yeah. They had, at least there was village, a big communal living. Even me, they are going for my own house in Bagada. I did census by myself. My father sent me, there were 30 people in the house. 30 people. Those 30 people, I think somebody will clean house, somebody will clean the bathroom, somebody will sweep. So that load was off my mouth. We don't come back and be thinking of where to sweep. You should not be thinking of what I don't if I go and I come back. If I go and I come back and anywhere is dirty, the most I can do is to give Jeremiah a brush. And he will brush only where
Jeremiah himself.
So
I will come back and brush whatever I said you should brush.
Ajike, I understand.
It's not the same.
Wait, let me explain my side of it. I understand fully with you. What I want you to know is that in those days, the families were large. Nowadays, the families are small. The families are smaller these days. Those families, those days, even though you had 30 people in the house, people had what they had to do. Your grandmother will go, maybe he has 3 acres of farmland that he has to plow. She has to plow. It doesn't mean that because there are 30, other people will come and help her on her own farmland. She will do it herself. It doesn't make the work easy. Maybe around the house, she has to take care of her home.
I'm not saying it's easier, but there was help. I'm not saying it was easier, but there was help. There were more people around.
In extended families where the wives were at war, was there help there?
I don't know that one. Now we're not at war. We're not at war, but we're very many.
Let's shift.
There are peaceful homes, and there are homes that the extended family were always at war. Are you telling me they're going to get help? The only help they can get is from their kids. What if your kids are still small and they cannot help? So it's not as if the world changed, but the society evolved. Now there's equality. Even if there were farmlands then, or there are farmlands now, the woman will tell the man, we go to that farm to do it together. Or else if I go, I won't cook when I come back home. You know?
Maybe it's the woman that has mouths to talk that we tell our husband that one. There are
But what
still
we are
women.
talking
See,
about now,
even this equality you are talking about, this equality is not equal everywhere.
we will get there. But it is happening now.
Okay.
It's happening, but it has not reached. It has not
Wait,
reached
let's shift gear back to this write-up. Now, there's an adage that says the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. Now, this actor cited an example, and I'm going to read it, of how his mom personally made his dad's meals, and that sort of created a deeper bond that prevented his dad from cheating. So to Ajike and Celia, if women start cooking more, do you think this will limit the instances of infidelity, or how true of a statement is? Because Ajike is already laughing.
Maybe
And I'm
I
like,
should answer that one. Maybe I should answer that one.
You know the answer. You
not to the men. I will come to the men, but let me go to the women. Let me start with you.
Ajike, yes or no? Just say yes or no.
Ajike is ready to start.
That man, next time go and find out, he has many other children somewhere. If the man die, you see children that will come out of the woodwork. It's a lie from the pit of hell. It's a lie. If you like, if I be cooking that food naked on top of fat, and we do like this, you will see shit if you wanna shit. It's a lie from the pit of hell. I don't think know how to do this, know how to do that. Dress well, look fine, package, go and visit Dr. Miami, put it up, put it down, cinch it in, fight fast and
According to Naira
fasting.
Marley,
It's a
upstairs,
lie.
downstairs, kitchen top.
Thank
table
you.
I'm coming.
I'm coming.
Copyright, guys. Don't let them yap in this episode.
I'm going.
The copyright.
Okay.
Ajike, it's a no. It does not like.
It's a lie.
No? Okay, Celia. So this is not a recipe to prevent disaster. From what this guy say, this prevented his dad from cheating. Do you think if women cook more, there'll be, like Glorilla glue, just jump everybody together?
Sorry.
I think maybe that worked in those days. I mean, his parents must be married for like 30 years because he's obviously over 30. So his parents, and maybe he has siblings as well that are probably older than him. So maybe in those days, things like that would work, where the woman would go to the kitchen and cook, and the man would admire her for doing that.
Wives.
Sorry?
Many wives in those days, though.
Even if he did, don't forget, when men marry more than one wife, they see something each that the other one doesn't have. That's what attracts them, right? But so maybe in the days,
women could do that. Well, carry on, sis.
well, maybe in the days of his father, that worked. But these days, as Ajike said, wear that high heel and be butt naked and be cooking. The man will eat the food though, and the man will still go and cheat. If I was a man and you are wearing high heel and you're butt naked, I'll be thinking you better not scratch your bum with that hand you're going to use to cook. Do you understand? But no, the man will still cheat. But then I just think it's not a bad idea, because see, the thing is, we're trying to be very politically correct these days. We can't really say things the way we want to say it, because we don't want people to say, oh, so you are saying that the woman's place is in the kitchen and the kitchen alone. But I just think women, we should still be cooking for our husbands, right? I'm just saying. I'm not trying to say you have to be cooking.
I don't think it's cooking for your husband. I think
it's not
women should
Wait,
cook
can I
for
just land? Let me finish. I would say, women, you should still try and be cooking for your husband, right? I'm not saying you have to be in the kitchen and cook fresh meals for him every day. You can cook when you have time in bulk and put it in the freezer, right? Because it's still good for your husband to know what your food tastes like, right? And now, we are all raising children. We are now in the era where we want to teach our male children and our female children how to cook. A lot of children these days, they don't know how to cook. Do you understand? They don't know how to cook.
Adults don't even know how to cook.
Thank you. Do you understand? Those children become adults and they don't know how to cook. Where else are you going to learn how to cook if not from what your mom is doing or from what your dad is doing? I learned.
This cook that people are teaching up and down. Nobody taught me how to cook. I don't know this cooking that people
I learned. Okay.
I put pepper in.
I learned how. Ajike, you must have seen your mom cook, right? You must have seen your mom cook, and you must have seen what she was doing. Because we learn by copying, right? When I was growing up, my mom would tell me, go and wash rice. When I wash rice and the water is not clear, no, you haven't washed it well. Make sure that water is clear. So I'm back in the sink washing that rice. Go and add water to the rice on the fire. And you have to know the exact amount of water, because if you add water and the rice now cooks and overcooks, you're in trouble. Go and put salt in the rice. You need to gauge it. So this was how I learned how to cook. And this was how I started knowing, okay, when I'm cooking stew, when I'm using palm oil, I need to let it bleach first. I need to put the onion and put salt so that you have taste there already. These are the things that I learned from my mom, right? So when I'm cooking and my son is there, I'm showing him this is how you do it, because I don't want my son to be at the mercy of any woman when it comes to food. I don't want my son to the only reason I'm going out with her is because she can cook. No, I want my son to be able to cook his food by himself, regardless whether his wife can or cannot cook. My brothers, the two of them, they can all cook. In fact, they are better cooks than their wives. My elder brother,
you know what I want to bring.
Wait, Ajike, hold on 1 second. My oldest brother is a better cook than his wives, hands down, right? Then my immediate younger brother, he is also a very good cook, but his wife too can cook. So I don't know who's the best cook. But what I'm trying to say is, right, we need to, cooking as well, our children learn from what we're doing, right? And I think, again, it's not every time go and warm the stew that Mama Iyabo cooked yesterday. And Mama Iyabo, I need 5 bowls of foriro. I need one. No, still try and do 1 or 2 cooking by yourself. That's how I say it, without trying to be politically correct.
And let me now tell you something. When I was growing up, like Funshaw said, I grew up in a house. I told you with this sense of 30 people. There were people cooking left, right, and center. Now I was not a sports child. They will cook everything. It's me and Moriamo, my cousin, that wash the plates. Every plate.
So Ajike, that's because
I'm coming. No, I'm coming somewhere.
Okay.
Somewhere. Now, this cooking you are talking about, I can cook. My mom is a caterer. But that somebody now sat me down. That maybe when they were, like I'm explaining to you now, when they were cooking, me, I'll be somewhere, maybe I'm sweeping, or they have sent me to another Anijo market like 4 or 5 times. I've gone. I did not see them cooking. But this cooking, I learned it. And I did not learn it the way you are saying it. But I took the time to know that I have to know how to cook. It's not until you sit down with one person that you must know how to cook. Go and learn how to cook. Everybody need to cook. Go and learn how to cook.
Okay, very correct. Ajike, you're very right? Because we all we all come from different backgrounds, right? I could have come from a family of father, mother, and 2 children. And my mother is in the kitchen cooking, and she calls me, okay, come and assist me, and I learned how to cook from there. When I was growing up, there's 8 of us, right? There's 8 children, but I also had cousins as well. I also had cousins who were living with us. And what my mom always did, when she's cooking, one of us was always in the kitchen, or even 2 of us would be there sometimes with her. Do you understand? She made it a point where she would call us to say, Lare, come, let's go and cook. And I would go to the kitchen with her. But my cousins were there. The other family members that were living with us were there. But my mom would never call them. Because again, like when I say you learn from, you do what you've learned. That's how I learned. My mom never allowed anybody come and cook food for her or food for my father. No, she did the cooking herself. But if you come from a very large, if you come from a very large family, where, I don't know, maybe your mom is busy doing business or doing something, and then yes, you can have cousins. I remember when my mom was in hospital, my auntie came to the house and she was cooking for us, and I hated it. Because she was not hygienic, she was very dirty. But hey, I had no option but to eat the food because I didn't know how to cook for myself. I know. I remember one day she went into the toilet, and this woman, she used water to wash her bum. And I saw that, and that put me off the food. But what could I do? I was a child and I needed food and I was hungry. My mother was in hospital. Do you understand? So what I'm saying is, yes, it depends. Do you understand? So it depends on the environment you grow up in. You could have just learned how to cook by yourself, or you would have seen and then you would learn from what you've seen. And that's how I learned how to cook.
The interesting thing is that my mom didn't teach me how to cook. My mom is a nurse, and we had house help. And when she was going to Luth to do another post-op, she's a scrub nurse, a surgical nurse. She was going to Luth to do a pre-operative 2-year program. So we were left with our house help and my dad. And my dad is a journalist. He travels a lot. So the man came back and there was stew in the freezer. You know them glass dish. The man put the whole thing on the gas cooker and just do keke. And the gas
There you go.
exploded. So my dad said, Yori, you will stay with Kudi and she will teach you how to cook. So necessity made me, because my mom cooked, she didn't have a problem, but she was going to be out of the house for 2 years on a program. But let me shift to Jude and Funsho. You see how rallied up Celia and Ajike were about this cooking or not cooking, it forms bond or not form bond. Both of you have huge media following on social media with a lot of men. Is it true that men prefer food bonding rather than intellectual bonding? And this is going back to the adage that says the way to a man's stomach, the way to a man's heart is true. So are you guys like food orientated, or am I touching brains here?
For me though, I'm a different breed. I really don't.
You are from Wakanda. A new era.
But I again very much agree with Celia. And Celia is a big advocate or say fighter for marital homes, for the sanctity of the marital home. And I like that about her a lot. It's great. I might have that laissez-faire attitude, but I too like everything Celia is talking about, especially when it comes to marital home. And I admire those things a lot. And I want to be all those things. But my approach to life is just I'm malleable. I'm mobile. I move with the shape. So that I don't have troubles tomorrow. Like my wife, truly, she's somewhere listening now. I could say yes, put my hand chest and say my wife is not a great cook. Okay, let me use the word. She's not a good cook. And again, why? Because we're from different backgrounds. There is something that she can cook that I really always long for. If she cooked that every day, I'll become tired of it. So I prefer to have that once in a while. And there's a way she do some kind of burnt rice, because I'm a sucker for rice. I like that rice, and I miss it when she don't do it. And she said, you don't ask now, because I don't talk too. I don't bother people. I can be here quiet and just be hungry and just go in the cooler, just find my children brioche bread, put 2 sausage in it, and I'm done. I don't like giving people issue. I want life to be easy, but I like what Celia is saying about the marital home, the sanctity of it. It does bring bonding. Look, we guys can say, I like intellectualism about women. So I better leave those story. Now today, go marry Wale Shoyinkana. I beg you. Look, food is a very good aspect of that bonding, because I've seen from my friends and older people how sometimes their wife is in the kitchen cooking. They'll go there, say, hey, mama, this person, mama, Osas, hey, you don't dare here again. Oh. The man will be salivating. And I can see from it, like, wow, this guy really like this period of their life. So it is bonding. Most men are not really, how do I put it? We don't just say, we don't come out and praise you, oh, you do this great, you do that great. But I know deep down that food is a more bonding cement compared to the so-called intellectualism. That's a lie. So what I'm trying to say is, it is a better bonding. Trust me. Because I know most times when I am frustrated with my wife about some certain food, yeah, although I say I like that laissez-faire attitude, but there are times when I'm really, really frustrated, and she will see that this man is not happy. But again, I'm easygoing. I'll do my own thing. I can just knock Indomie here and there.
Yes.
So ask my wife to knock Indomie for me now. My wife will knock Indomie with the spice in the Indomie. I don't like that spice in it. I'll put my Indomie, cut my own spice. You garnish it. You have Indomie jollof. You see where I'm going. So I would like for her sometimes to watch that and say, my guy, like I'm like this, and make it. And when she doesn't do it, I'm frustrated. But I don't depend on my wife to cook, because I am that type that is very good at cooking. I think it's part of keeping your. I'm not saying the woman should come into the home as an extra tool or equipment to be cooking for the man. No, but in a marriage, both people should do that at least for that bonding. They should do that equally, and for the children's sake as well. I understand Ajike's point too when you come from a big home. One of the places I stayed before I left for abroad was a very huge, very, very prominent Benin family. And most of the chores they left for the guys. And I was among the only few who did it. Was sweeping the massive compound with this massive broom like a giant. They didn't let us cook. They would let us, they would throw that food away. The women would throw the food away if they said, oh, it was Jude or somebody else who cooked it. They never touched it. They prefer us to fetch water, break firewood, and sweep the compound before 6 a.m., get everything ready. And my younger cousin, Titi, will cook the food. So we were used to that. But with regards to all of that, I still had to cook by watching my mom, watching my sister. And before I even got my jollof right, Oh my God, I bought so many jollof. My jollof was smelling fresh tomatoes. My friends will eat it. They will start talking. Yes, so one of my friends is in Canada now. He ate my jollof rice. A guy insulted me in my presence. I'm tasting. He said, I'm tasting Lido tomatoes." I'm like, "Oh my God."
He even knew the brand.
Oh yeah, he knew the brand I used.
Oh,
That 25p can of tomatoes, or 17p then. So, but over time, I became better. I struggle with fried rice, but I then realized I don't have to make my fried rice like Ajike would do it, or like Sila would do it, or like Yuri would do it. I have to modify my own jollof fried rice, and I did my own
And
style.
you say, you took
Yeah.
responsibility for yourself and you learned
Don't worry,
it.
I can give you
That's
my
for
recipe.
me.
So that's how we get all of this. And so I don't leave the
I
kitchen
say,
for
no,
the wife,
cannot boil yam.
but
To
I
boil
do get
yam now, or do all
frustrated.
those things. You don't need anybody to teach you how to boil
Of
yam.
course,
Put
of
yam,
course.
put it on water,
But
and if you like burn the yam, don't eat it.
I have a
It's not
friend
like I'm
right
not going to
now.
teach my son how to cook or whatever the
Yeah.
case may be, but I hate it when I hear people telling me that they can't cook, they can't cook. It's the same thing I tell them that you cannot, you should be able to, if something is interesting to you or you are interested in something, you should be able to put in the effort. You should
YouTube
be
is
able to
there.
put in the effort.
Look,
If you
YouTube
know
has
the
done
things
us
I'm
good.
learning, if you know the
Yeah.
courses I'm doing, honestly, you will it. But I don't know them. But I will go there and I'll sit down, I'll sit with laptop, Google everything left, right, and center. In fact, let me tell you what I learned recently on YouTube. You know, when you're eating chicken, those dips that you know you're eating chips, you don't want ketchup. I learned to put in how to make something deep. I just put dip, different dips came out. And I learned it. So why would there's so much. Yeah, there's so much, there are so many ways to learn online now that one person have to tell me that you cannot learn how to do something. No.
It's fact. We all learn this days. So, and you've spoken about fast word, evolving word. If the word is evolving, the men should evolve.
They should keep up with it.
All it does is on the YouTube. We experiment a lot. We go to the Chinese restaurant, we eat something, we like it, we come straight on YouTube, and I'm trying it the next day. And I tell you, most times I get it so wrong, and I quickly don't want to even let my children test it. I'll hide it or I will throw it away, but I'll try again. So it's not a role for the woman. You like something, experiment with it. It's your food. My mom is no longer here, or my dad will be behind me and say, you know, you don't pick the rice where I choose stone and slap your head. It's no longer there. This is my house. I can afford to burn my rice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's it for now.
Let me go to Funsho quickly and then we round up. Funsho, just like I asked Jude. Jude said you men prefer food bonding than intellectual bonding. How true of a statement is this?
Okay, so I will answer your question, but I just wanted to say something since when Celia mentioned the auntie that went to the toilet and washed.
Did you need to come back to that?
Again. So it reminds me, I told you that my mom had like 30 apprentices under her learning the fashion designing like that. So there was a day. So she also cooks our food. My mom cooks. She doesn't allow anybody to touch it. But sometimes, not once in a while, she just the most trusted of all of them to help make the swallow, the gari. So this day I was with this lady, we are close. She was almost like the favorite of all of them for me also. And we're making the gari inside the kitchen. And as we were talking, suddenly she just started.
I know that. Yeah.
I heard it. I was like, hey. Immediately she stopped. I also stopped. We're not looking at ourselves. It's like begging me, please don't. It's like begging me, please don't say anything. Please don't say. And yeah, I kept my mouth shut.
What she did was slap the gari now.
No, she
in the gari. She farted in the gari.
Oh.
She farted. Is it inside the gari that she farted? She just farted.
She was doing it now. The thing just came out.
You know when you're
So I saw it. You know, kids now, when kids hear farts, so I was still a kid that time. So I didn't say anything. So it was time to eat. I was hungry. But that night I went to bed. I didn't. My whole family ate it.
You're a wicked boy. A very wicked boy.
It's Nigerian Navy Secondary School. All this one in particular, I don't have. Go to the toilet and fart. With fart then, now you know how many gases are moving in the air that you have.
Yeah, I know, but you know how much they try to
Yeah.
All right. We're pressed for time. So let me, Funsho, can you just let us know? Yeah.
Yeah, so For me, will it allow you cheat or not? A man that will cheat, I've always said it will cheat, no matter how you cook the food.
Food or
Yeah,
not.
so it doesn't stop a man from cheating. Now, but having said that, you cooking the food kind of bonds with your husband. That's like it cannot be contested. There's a way my wife cooks. So when I come home and I eat the food, I know whether it was my wife that cooked it or not. Or I ask her, babe, this food is delicious, but it seems like something is missing. Then she comes back and says, oh, maybe I was with somebody and we did it together. Like that. No, I don't like this kind of things. I will eat. Yeah, but I will tell her, there was a time that my sister-in-law came in from Nigeria and she was cooking with my wife in the kitchen, but she did most of the cooking. Immediately I took the first spoon, I was like, no, this is not my wife cooking. And I just stood up. Immediately I took it. I just said, this is not my wife. And I stood up, I was like, babe, who cooked this food? It was me and Auntie, whatever, in the kitchen, we did it together, but you didn't. She put all this. She said, yeah, she does. Okay, I know. So I'm not pissed off, but I'm not just hungry again. And I went in and I take my beans and I ate. But I'm not pissed off. But it's just me. Yeah, it's just me. And it's not as if I don't trust that person or I don't like that person is the problem. But it's just my own bringing and the psychological issues I have with food. And so, but I've been working on it. Like I said, sometimes my best friend, in fact, I live next to my pastor here, and the wife has fought me several times that she will not eat in my house. I can't help it. If I should eat it, I'm going to vomit. Like vomit my lungs, everything.
Yeah.
It's just that it's that psychological for me.
Wow.
So they know I try. So I try when I'm in their house and they are maybe frying something or cooking something, and I'm there, I just pick one and eat and I go. But I come and you're eating, I want to my joy. No, I won't eat it.
Or you want to bring it out of the freezer.
Fantastic to know these things though.
Like we're different, and it's just the peculiarity around us. We're different, and we
like that freezer food. Please bring it out. I will eat it. So nothing good. You can't pack it for me. Let me go to my house.
Don't worry, Adike, when you come to the UK, don't worry.
We'll spoil you. In closing, and this is for Adike and Celia, there's so many expectations from women and no serious expectation from the men. So at least, do we now expect our men to stand by the gates, carry weapon, watch over their wives and sons? Or is that too much? What is it that you would prefer for men to do now that there's this level of expectation from women? So should we now expect our men to stand by the door, be gatesmen, carry weapon, show that they are men? Because you're expecting women to be women with cooking. So in what minute, Celia and Adike, what is the why can't we have the same level of expectation for men?
For me, if a man has all these expectations, cook everything, just know that you have to have the money. Now it's
money. I know
money. At what point is
once the money matches, I will not be cooking money afternoon, night, breakfast, dinner, lunch, anything. Or have that money.
Okay. Money answers all things. Celia,
That's all.
At what point are we buying AK-47?
I think for me, I think it's nice for a man to also know how to cook, right? And also, I think sometimes the women that don't like cooking, you often find that they always have to do the cooking on their own in the kitchen while the man is sitting down in the living room watching Sky Sports and waiting, and just picking and just waiting for the food to be ready and then be served. So if you're a woman, that might piss you off a bit, like, okay, so what? Am I the slave and you're the master? Have you fried any meat? Can I just have a bit of meat and juice because I'm really hungry? That kind of mentality is really annoying. So if I was a woman,
as Jennifer would say, meat and juice.
If I was a woman and that's what my husband would do, I'll really be like, I can't cook. Let's go together. But the thing is, the reason why I enjoy my cooking is because when I'm cooking, me and my husband were in the kitchen, we are talking, this, that, we're just talking about different things. That's when we bond. That's when we have the time to have conversation. So that's why I enjoy cooking. And I think it's also nice, men, if you're watching this, it's good for you to also know how to cook, not just your wife. And if you don't know how to cook and your wife is in the kitchen cooking, go there, have a chat with her, help her, bring out the pan, help her do this, or help her do a bit of washing up, just things like that. It bonds you people, you know, it brings you people together, and the wife does not feel like she's the slave while you are the master waiting to be served.
Okay.
She's not a
Personally,
she's not a designer in the kitchen.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
personally, I don't like Mr. Brother in the kitchen, and that's because he's a better cook than I am. So when I'm cooking and I don't put certain things, like at this junction, you should
Oh
have
yeah,
put
yeah,
this.
yeah.
I'm like, brother, please just respect yourself and leave. Because he cooks, his food is tastier than mine. Although when he does, he's a horrible cleaner.
Cleaner,
As in,
yeah.
he's all good. He will cook and you think the bomb has exploded in the kitchen. So that was.
That's how you know the food is sweet. Mama put.
Exactly.
My husband will cut pepper and he would. I was like, brother. So, but we'll leave it as it is. As you can see, Mr. Actor Sam Unabuke. I will probably look for a film of yours. I've never seen you in any film, but you kind of, yeah, you kind of got the panel kind of rallied up and being an advocate of family at the same time, an advocate of women. We should all learn to cook. It's a survival skill.
It is.
Okay. And we're in the era of, well, like Jude and Funsho has cited, we've got house helps that are now poisoning family members. And this might be because of maybe the family have not been nice to them, or people are just naturally wicked. So let's do what is best for us as individuals, as family, and how best to foster that relationship. If it's by cooking, if it's by talking. And as Funsho has said, people's sex is not just, anyway, that's another kettle of fish. We'll leave you until next week. And if you're just catching us, you should actually be catching us. We've been around for like yonks now. We're on channel 189 PSTV Pop Central. And if you're outside Africa, in Europe, popping by Pop Central app, you can actually catch us on Sunday at 9 p.m. after the watershed, because we speak mature things on this content. So we'll see you next week, and thanks for joining us. On behalf of everyone here, we wish you all the best.
Bye.
Bye.